There's no Raylos, no Ray nobodies, nobody like that anywhere, anytime, any place. No snowflakes, no Kyle Ron fans, no Soilo fans, and people who can't take a joke or understand a joke, fuck off. That is me saying that. So today was listening to Midnight's Edge and stuff, and I think there are some real discrepancies and real callousness when it comes to what's going on. First off, I'm going to tell you something about Ron DeSantis. No, I am not a resident of Florida, but I was when Jeb Bush was governor. And then when Charlie Crist came. Okay. Charlie Crist is like literally one of the worst human beings in the world. I want to explain something about Ron DeSantis. Let's first talk about him. He was a JAG officer for the United States Navy SEALs. Okay. He is a lawyer. He was trained as a JAG, which is a military lawyer. Okay. He is married, has been married for a long time. He and his wife have 2 little kids. His wife, I think her name is Christine, just beat breast cancer. She's younger than I am by like 15 years. She just beat breast cancer, thank God. And he came in to the Congress, right, out of the Navy. And, as like I said, he's a naval officer. And he went back to Florida to run for governor. Now, the guy he ran against, whose name I can't remember and it's not worth remembering, is a black Democrat. And I want to mention that only because nothing they could do could protect him from what his worst enemy was, which is himself. Got his ass kicked by DeSantis all over the place, all over Florida. Soon afterwards, he was found in a hotel room with a gay escort. So if you're going to say something like that about Ron DeSantis, you don't know who you're talking about. Ron DeSantis is just a decent guy, okay? And he's a hard ass. Again, he's a retired United States naval officer who worked with the top special operators group in the world, the U.S. Navy SEALs, okay? So it's not like, he was, some Ted Cruz type in a cushy office, okay? That really bothered me. It also kind of shows an ignorance, I think, for U.S. politics. You basically, without knowing it, use what his opponent, Terry Gilliam, I think his last name was Gilliam, what that guy was caught doing. No, you don't. They will crush you, when you equate what he was doing with what, Ron DeSantis could be caught in it. No, that's Ron DeSantis. I believe he's a strong Catholic. He has a young family. Okay, so sci-fi universes. He was a staunch conservative in the House of Representatives, and when it obvious that was obvious that we needed a strong guy to run against Gilliam, they grabbed DeSantis. He won the primary and kicked ass, and he's been doing it ever since. He's literally number 2 on the conservative list for who we would like to see run for president. Not that I am conservative. However, in the spectrum of political ideology, conservatives run a better ship as far as right to privacy, taxes, right of self-government, and individualism than Democrats. Democrats, we're not talking about Kevin McCarthy. Democrats are literally the last people you want protecting your individual rights, obviously by their attacks on unborn babies, school children and parents, gun ownership, taxes. You know, when you've got the President of the United States eyeing your retirement fund with glazed over eyes, you've got a problem. Okay. Yes, I believe taxation is theft. I agree with Ron Paul on that. And I am a stalwart believer in a lot of the things that Ayn Rand said about individualism. But to say silly things like that about Ron DeSantis without any knowledge, this is for my foreign subscribers. The United States, there's a plethora of different kinds of people running for different offices. Years ago, after I left Washington D.C., there was a guy who Mark Foley. He was a congressman from Florida, and 6 weeks before the general election, he got outed as harassing and sexually harassing the Capitol pages, the young men. He was gay. The guy was gay. Not a pedophile, he was gay. All right. That killed the Republicans keeping the House. It was set up. Pelosi knew about it and they used it. And Foley's stink went on to every congressman out there on the Republican side. And that was Nancy Pelosi's way into Speaker of the House, hence how we got a douchebag here. Okay. But it's very rare that you see somebody like Ron DeSantis get caught like that. It's usually somebody who's been there for a long, long time, who's part of the establishment, Mark Foley was, who will feel like they're untouchable. Kevin McCarthy was recorded saying something stupid. Mitch McConnell was caught saying something stupid. Now, I am going to say this. I don't think this hurts the red wave. I do believe that the Democrats probably got a hold of these things and put it out there in desperation. What they don't understand is that the Republicans coming in next year don't have to vote for either of them for Speaker of the House or Majority Leader for the Senate. Okay. This is going to be a house cleaning of a lot of what we call Republicans in name only. Mitt Romney's the king of them. Okay. And hey, Cross Element. So you got to understand that each state is a different, is different. It's different from others. Okay. Is Ron DeSantis personally pissed off about Disney? He's got 2 little kids. He's a parent, and I think that's the only part of it. I think when they went and tried to, pass this bill protecting parents' rights, and he took an affront. He was affronted by, it's seemingly backtracking on no comment from Bob Chapek. Again, you got to understand this guy worked with the best of the best. All right, the guys that killed Osama bin Laden. Okay, no shit, gunfighters. Okay, and he's got a little bit of that in him. And I think he probably thought this might happen. When you look at what is going on or what has gone on at Disney over the last, not year, 5 years, 6 years. Bob Iger is the one that did this. And he's the one that put these people, the LaToya Raveno's, the Carmen Smiths, etc., in these places. Okay, when you look at the walkout, there weren't very many of them, but they are fucking obnoxious. Okay, but he did it. It's not Bob Chapek. All right, Bob Chapek has not taken aback his ideas that Disney has to be a for-profit company. Now it appears that they are really, 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 it appears that the board told Chapek to apologize, la-di-da. We know that. I don't think that he intends to back off of the no comment and his statement about where Disney's going to be. I don't believe for a second. I don't think Eisner had anything to do with this. This sticking queers and lesbians in places where they could fuck with content in such a bold way was Iger. Okay, activist queers and lesbians. I mean, let's put them where they are. What they don't understand is no one gives a shit what they do in private. Okay, we don't want their politics in our entertainment. That's all. That's all. If I don't feel comfortable taking a child to a Disney cartoon because there's a dyke thing going on there, that's money they're not getting. Okay. And despite what they think in California, they really are a very small minority of a very small minority. Okay. They're wildly overrepresented in Hollywood. It's always interesting to me when you look at where cities that seem to it's like a magnet for people like that are always in places that are on fault lines or next to volcanoes. Or like New Orleans underneath the water, under the water line. It's a matter of time till Sodom and Gomorrah 2 begins. Okay, that's just me. Natural effect of what? Yeah, San Andreas Fault. And Los Angeles and San Francisco are both on it. Well, the thing about it is it's been quiet. They haven't said a word. DeSantis hasn't signed it, so it's not law yet. So what I think is happening is that there's back channels between Disney and the governor's office. Okay. This is a very intricate matter that a lot of, I don't think, YouTubers are basically equipped to talk about. Okay. It's not a funny matter. Attacking Ron DeSantis for being the usual, scummy politician when you don't know anything about American politics. Nothing. You don't know anything about the state of Florida. And what are you going to do? If I woke up tomorrow morning, found out Donald Trump said I'm not going to run for president again, Ron DeSantis would be the guy. I'd crown him with many crowns. Okay. Reason why is because he's a guy that gets the goddamn job done. And that's all anybody wants. Okay. And he's kept his promises to the people of Florida. Now Democrats say blah, blah, blah. Like the lie that, the residents there isn't anybody that lives in the Reedy Creek area, will be forced to take up the $2 billion in what, liabilities and debt? No, that's Disney's problem. Okay, that is not the state's problem. It's not the county's problem. That's Disney's problem. They are they are the carriers of that debt. Okay, so when you hear media saying this stuff, it's an attack. Look, what they're trying to do is they're trying to divide idiot fiscal conservatives from DeSantis. Okay, which they do this all the time. Okay, this is a political thing that they do. Okay, they're getting their asses kicked, and they can't be blind to it. Let me explain. Let me tell you. You know, and so far, nothing is said. No one has said a word since yesterday. Disney's been very quiet. You know, there's been stuff about Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out. And, you know, that's it. That's it. Nothing about what's going on. You know, Matt Maloney is too busy attacking Elon Musk because Matt Maloney, who's a lawyer, by the way, doesn't know what the fuck free speech is. And honestly believes a libertarian like myself should not be allowed to say what I want. Okay? But at jackasses virtue signaling bullshit about LGBTQ plus, groomers, you know, BLM racists, etc. He didn't sign it at all because that would have been everywhere. Okay? I didn't see him. I didn't see where he signed it. And I've been watching the news, so watch how you say stuff. Okay? All right? If he did, I will come back and say. But as far as I know, he has not said a word. Nothing has happened. Okay? There would have been a big goddamn thing going everywhere. Because guess what? Okay? Just because it got passed by the House and Senate doesn't mean the governor's even going to sign it. It could sit there on his desk growing weeds for months, and he doesn't have to sign it. He can just hang it over Disney's head like the sword of Damocles. What he's trying to do is to get Disney to eject the woke LGBTQ pedos from their ranks. That's what this is about. Okay. Is it personal? No. No. I mean, don't say the parental rights bill was about protecting parents' rights and children from LGBTQ activist teachers teaching grades K through third. Okay, little kids. Give them, as Dee Dee said yesterday, give them a minute. All right. And Texas has gone further. Well, you know, maybe he did sign it. As of right now, I haven't seen anything. And trust me, Deadline Hollywood, Deadline and Variety and Hollywood Reporter and Puck would be shitting bricks right now if that was the case. You know, this is a negotiating tool. All right. They also have another bill that was signed that makes Reimagine Tomorrow illegal in Florida. Okay. You know, I would say to Disney, if you want to pay back your debt, get Iger's debt off your back. Get rid of it. You know, and you're sitting there wondering what to do. Divest of Hong Kong, divest of Shanghai, sell the land in California. All right, those fuckers don't want to work in Florida. Fine. They can go find jobs elsewhere. Fire them. All right. Look, I thought about this for a long time. And that's exactly what it is. So it's gonna and it's look, if you go to WDW Pro, he explains a lot of the basically a lot of the really hard and complicated things about this. Okay, I honestly, there are people on the right who think, well, if he just signs it, that's it. No, it's not. Don't be stupid. Okay, people on the left, the same thing from the opposite direction. It's like we live in a world where information is at your fingertips, and no one even, yeah, but he didn't sign it yet. Okay, and just all right. I haven't seen it. You shouldn't sit there and say stuff like that without an actual legit source. Okay, and I don't mean, Bob's Big Boy website or that idiot oh god, Alex Jones. All right, come here, post Wikipedia or Alex Jones, I'll ban you. All right, I will. I don't have any time for that shit. But this is very complicated. All right, and it's gonna take a long time if they don't come up with a solution. And I'm sure Chapek is, in fact, Cameron said for sure he thought that this Reedy Creek thing was something that Chapek knew was coming, and that he basically feels like Chapek is going to use this, go to the board, point at the wokesters and say, "Can I fire them now? Can I get rid of them?" Okay, which I think is going to happen. Lots of shit going down in Hollywood. What I want to talk about though is there is a dearth of talent in Hollywood. Nobody can write. I had a debate with Cameron about Colin Trevorrow's script for The Rise of Skywalker. What, I can't remember. Duel of the Fates. I mean, it wasn't good. When people are starved for good Star Wars, okay, it wasn't as good as the Book of Boba Fett. All right, it was better than The Rise of Skywalker, but it wasn't that good. Okay, we need people who can actually write. We need people who can actually imagine, all right, who are fans of the franchises. You can't convince me that Chris Terrio gives a shit about Star Wars. J.J. Abrams. Rian Johnson did everything and took a dump on it. Okay? J.J. Abrams and even Larry Kasdan took a dump on the franchise with the Force Awakens. You go through other movies. Game of Thrones, the last season. Those guys didn't know what they were doing. They weren't fans. Okay? Here's the deal. If Disney decided to fire these people instead of taking them to Florida, because apparently the Florida employees and the California employees hate each other's guts. All right, fire these people, hired other people, I'd be happy. All right, look, if you're incompetent, if you can't write a script, if you're a terrible director, and you only got there because of nepotism, if you're a shitty actor who only got a role because of nepotism, you can't work. For me, at least, I would be like that. There are people that have high-paying jobs in the business that have no business having those jobs. Okay? None at all. And when you've got a company like Disney who's suffering financially right now, trying to fix what is wrong, and they have employees, haymays, standing in their way because these employees for too long ran amok. The CEO has every right to, fire pink slips at all of them from a cannon, and I mean that. And but that's ultimately the problem for Disney. Even bigger, I think, than the financial, because these people, in this instance, stand in the way, okay, of Disney making a profit, okay? This is the thing. And I honestly think Cameron has a point when he said Chapek is going to use this to say to the board, I think that Bob Chapek could be very, very much a hatchet man if he had to be. Okay. But, that's really what he's going to have to start doing. And look, the problem with Disney is the board itself. There's at least half of them are woke. Okay, half of them. You've got these big hedge funds who are run by bottom feeding wokesters too. For some, you kind of look at them and go, why? I mean, why? All right, Hollywood is overrepresented by very bad people. If I ran the FBI, I would have an agent going through Brian Lord's garbage. I would. I'd set that guy up. Why? Because I have a feeling he's a bad dude. All right, just like I have a feeling David Geffen is a bad dude. I would set Oprah up. Why? Because I know she's a bad dude. Okay, again, they used Michael Jackson, dangled, he was the shiny object. Meanwhile, they're doing worse. Okay, this is the problem. And Bob Iger was part of that cabal. They're trying to make it very safe for people like them to operate. They felt very safe for a long time. Okay. But on the other hand, I also think that what's going on with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is going to bring a lot of stuff out in the wash. If Brian Lord testifies, and he hasn't yet, from what I know, because that would be everywhere, it'll be big. It'll be big. All right. That guy's a bad dude. And I'm not saying he's a bad dude. No, he is a bad dude. Okay? And I hate to say that to Billy Lord, but girl, your daddy's no good. I look at him. I look at the guy he's with, and I go, there's something off about that. You know how when you're looking at somebody and you just feel that there's something really creepy, weird going on? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. So, but I want to talk about Ron DeSantis because he's a really good guy. All right. And I would just say that about anybody. He is Brian Lord runs CAA. Okay. I fully expect if he has to go and testify that he gets kicked out. All right, I do. All right. If it comes out that he had something to do with smearing Johnny Depp, all right, with the way public opinion has now been swayed to Depp's favor, it's going to be really ugly. This is the end of the Me Too thing, okay? And it's the end of a lot of shit going down in Hollywood. All right, that you got Ezra Miller, etc. And I want to address something that just happened last night. Apparently, Bill Murray's new movie, they stopped filming, canceled filming, suspended it. And Murray apparently said something to somebody that triggered them. And that is why Yeah, yeah, he does. That is why the movie has been suspended, canceled filming. It was almost done. Look, this is the last hurrah. I mean, whoever did it, said it, whatever, attacked Murray, doesn't understand him, doesn't realize he's a pain in the ass, that he jokes around quite a bit, and not to take him seriously. All right, he probably said something to some woke bitch, and she probably had a shit fit. Okay, why they had to stop filming the whole movie, I'll never know. Okay, but keep your eye out open on that. All right, because everybody in Hollywood knows Bill. All right, everybody. Everybody knows he is a giant pain in the ass. Okay, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. But is he really a bad guy? No, he's just Bill Murray. So we'll see what happens. I wanted to put that out there. But, I was really offended today about what was said about Ron DeSantis. And you can sit there and joke and stuff about politicians, but he isn't like most politicians. You'll never find a picture of him in blackface. You'll never find him doing bad things with other women. You know, we don't know either of those things, sci-fi. So we just gotta accept the fact that sometimes good men get into leadership. He was Harvard lawyer, Harvard trained lawyer. He was basically got his trident as a Navy SEAL. All right. Yeah, well, he was found with a male prostitute. There you go. And it's just, there you go. So, yeah, I took offense at that. But again, it shows the fact that people overseas, even in Canada, don't know anything about American politics. And there you go. I'm not sure if HBO Plus, which I have, will be a big deal. All right, I got it. I've seen every movie on this platform I wanted to, but I don't watch their new stuff. And just like that was terrible. The fact that they seem to want to give it a second season was just appalling to me. Appalling. But anyway, I gotta go. Yeah, my husband did find a snake in the backyard. Thank God it was not a copperhead, but it scared the shit out of me. Okay. Anyway, well, we do a lot. I understand why you don't want to bring up politics, and I don't either. But, sometimes in days like these, we almost have to. Anyway, I gotta go. All right. So see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe. Anything else happens, all right, we know the Acolyte's been pushed back to October. Basically, it's dead. See you guys around the galaxy.